7 years back. Fate led me to her, a woman who entered my world like a thunderstorm rolling over a still horizon. She was radiant, unpredictable, alive in every sense. I was composed, driven, the eye to her hurricane, and together, I believe we were perfectly matched. She used to call me her anchor, her safe place, and I embraced that role without hesitation. My life revolved around ambition, late nights, missed holidays and anniversaries, all sacrifices made to shape the future we once dreamed about. But slowly, the admiration in her gaze turned to indifference. The pride she once wore for my hard-won success began to dissolve, replaced by sarcasm and subtle dismissal. My wins she'd brush off as coincidences, quirks of luck. Her family echoed that sentiment. Her brother's digs sharpened, her parents' approval always just out of reach. Still, I kept showing up, hoping her words of love still held truth, ignoring the widening cracks. Then came the moment I couldn't ignore. It was a small gathering not long after I had been promoted. Her brother raised his glass and said, "Guess they needed someone naive to take the fall." His voice rapped in mock humor. Laughter followed, light and unbothered. But it was her reaction that stayed with me. No defense, just a careful little smile, like she wasn't sure which side she stood on. That silence cut deeper than any insult. But the blow that broke everything didn't come until later. Dinner at her relative's home. Among them was her ex, casually present yet unmistakably central. The conversation veered toward him, his so-called accomplishments praised loudly and without pause. Her father toasted him. Her brother roared in laughter. And then she joined in, unguarded, delighted. I didn't wait for dessert. I stood up and left, her text buzzing before I hit the driveway. "Don't be so sensitive. It was a joke." Sleep evaded me that night. I called in sick the next morning and drove straight to a law firm, something I should have done months earlier. The warning signs had been steady and clear. Her ex always around, always just a friend, always invited without discussion. "We're adults," she'd say. "Let it go." And I tried. I bit down my pride, pushed down the hurt, wore a smile that didn't belong to me. But the mask cracked that night. Something inside me shifted, not a break, but a measured turn toward truth. I started investigating, not wild accusation, but calculated research. I combed through accounts, pieced together spending patterns. Her debts, her loans, even money funneled toward her brother's failing schemes. So much of it taken from me, quietly, consistently. Then came the messages, carefully stored in backups, lurking in sync devices. Their tone wasn't explicit, but it was intimate, familiar. Conversations with her ex that spanned late hours, wrapped in nostalgia and secrets. I compiled everything. Screenshots, logs, records, each one a piece of the puzzle. Over 3 weeks, I met my lawyer 4 times. We built a case grounded in facts. Violations of our prenup, misuse of joint funds, emotional neglect. And I didn't breathe a word of it to her. At work, I moved just as precisely, redirecting bonuses, locking down access, accepting a promotion that would take me to another city. All done quietly. A month after that dinner, the opportunity came. Her birthday. I booked an upscale venue, warm lighting, her favorite flowers, every detail perfect. Guests poured in, family, friends, colleagues, and of course, her ever-present ex. She wore that deep red dress, the same one from our 3rd anniversary. I remembered. She didn't. We waited until the food was served, the wine flowing, the mood just light enough. I stood, raised a glass, and let my voice carry, not bitter, but sure. To the woman I once promised everything. Fierce, unforgettable, radiant. I paused and added, but it seems I was the only one holding on to that version. A hush fell over the room. I turned to her brother. "To you," always ready with a jab. "Here's a truth for you. I was never naive. I was the wallet propping up your messes. That ends tonight." She tried to cut in. I raised a hand, then turned to her ex. "Thank you for keeping her occupied. Your late-night messages said more than you think." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. I placed an envelope on the table. Legal documents, solid and unshakable. "Divorce," I said simply. "Backed by financial evidence, betrayal, and neglect. All of it documented. Her mother looked away. Her brother stammered. I didn't stop. One last thing, I added, I resigned last week. Accepted a new job, higher pay, new title, new city. And this entire celebration? I looked around the stunned room, funded by the bonus you all said I didn't earn. Then I looked her in the eye, calm, unwavering. You once called me dramatic, but this isn't drama. It's consequence. Then I walked out. The fallout came quickly. Calls, messages, waves of guilt, denial, rage. I didn't answer. Her family tried to rewrite the story. Paint me as cruel, heartless, vindictive. Maybe to them, I was. But staying would have been the greater betrayal of myself. Now, I wake in a new city, breathing deeper, standing taller. The past feels distant, like a chapter from someone else's life. I work with renewed focus. I live deliberately. I move without doubt. Betrayal doesn't always announce itself with a kiss or a fight. Sometimes it's just a laugh at your expense when silence would have meant loyalty. Sometimes it's the absence of defense when your name is dragged. And revenge, it doesn't have to be chaotic or loud. Sometimes it's quiet, surgical, and timed to perfection. It doesn't just free you from them. It brings you back to yourself. Let them cling to what's already faded. I'm moving forward on my own terms, building something real, something mine.